Hey guys, come with me to do a rear diff, transfer case, and front diff fluid change on a 5th gen Toyota 4Runner today. It's a pretty easy maintenance that I feel like anybody can do themselves, and you should be able to save a lot of money by doing it yourself. Alright, quick overview. Should be pretty easy. It should take you about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you go. The front diff takes 1.85 quarts, so you need 2 bottles of gear oil. It's a 10mm hex. Here are the torque specs. Transfer case takes about 1.47 quarts, so you need about 1.5 bottles of gear oil. It's a 24mm bolt. Rear diff, 2.58 quarts, so you need at least 3 bottles. So you need gloves, a breaker bar, torque wrench, 24mm head, 10mm hex, gear oil, a transfer pump, and 12mm head for the skid plate. You probably need some new crush washers, oil catch pan, and this is optional. If you want to put your car on ramps, it'll help a lot, but the 4Runner is high enough that you don't really need to. And I am using Valvoline 75W90 Advanced Gear Oil. Alright, as you can see, I already have my wheels on ramps, all 4. Your car needs to be level so you get a good, accurate reading. E-brake is on. We're ready to go. Alright, let's start with the rear diff first, since this one is the easiest one to service. Okay. This one is your fill plug. This one is your drain plug. Make sure you can always take this one off first, because if you drain this and you can't get this off, you're in a lot of, So let's spray this with some WD-40 and crack it open. All right, we're gonna take our 24mm breaker bar and crack this open. Let's see if I can get this one hand. Oh, son of a... Okay, got it. Leave that. All right, we'll crack this one. Damn, bro. Did I get it? All right. All right, we're gonna take this out and let it drain. Careful, it might come out pretty quick. See how dirty this fluid is. Not sure if it's ever been changed. Oh, it's not that bad. Take this off. There we go. Let this drain. The fluid is pretty clear. Actually, it's not that bad. All right, this is the fill. You want to replace the crush washer on this one. This is your drain. It has a magnet on it, so it's gonna have a lot of metal and shaving stuck to it. Make sure to wipe this off clean. Yep. Wipe this off clean, and then make sure to replace the crush washer for it. All right, this is the fill plug, drain plug, new washers. Let's put the drain back on. Hand tight. And then we will torque it down to spec. All right, we're gonna torque it down to 38 foot-pounds. Till you hear the click. You're gonna torque it till you hear the click. Okay. All right, now you're just gonna take your new oil, put your pump through, and you're just gonna pump until you see new fluid coming out of the fill, until it starts dripping a little bit. Should take about 3 bottles, 2.85 quarts. pump. All right, guys, we should be getting close. I've gone through about 2.5 bottles, almost 3. So just keep pumping. All right, that's about what we want. You see it pumping. The fluid is dripping out. Now it's full. Using 3 just to be safe. There we go. And it's good. All right, screw the fill back on, hand tight. And then we're gonna torque it to 38 foot-pounds. Clean all the excess off. 38 foot-pounds. Hear the click. And we're good. All right, just like that, we're done with the rear diff. Now we can move on to the transfer case. Same concept. All right, guys, moving up to the transfer case. Should be about in the middle of your car. Same concept as the rear diff. Drain, fill, pop this off first, and then drain this, put this back on, and then fill this up. I'm gonna pop this. I'm telling you, raising up your car gives you so much more clearance and leverage. Do this one hand, bitch. Got it. All right. Pop the drain. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I think so. All right. Now you can pop this off, take off your fill. Pretty clean. And then let it drain. Oh shit. Well, no. Okay. It'll come out a lot faster than you think. These things happen. Honestly, these don't look like crush washers, so I don't think that you need to replace them. I think you can reuse these and you should be okay. All right, pop the drain back on. And I believe this one is 29 foot-pounds. All right, 29 foot-pounds, do the click. Okay, and you're good. All right, guys, we pumped about 1.5 bottles-ish. Give it a few extra pumps just to be safe. Make sure that that's kind of the flow you want to know that it's filled correctly. Take this out, and then we're gonna put the fill back on. All right, hand tight, and then we're gonna go 29 foot-pounds again. All right, 27 foot-pounds. Hear the click, and we're good. All right. Just like that, we've serviced the rear diff and the transfer case. Now we can move on to the front diff and we're done. A little bit of WD-40 on this. All right. Over there. 2 bolts up in here. All right, I took the skid plate off and the 4 bolts. Here's the front diff. Here is the oil pan. Here's the transmission. Make sure you're doing this one. Fill, drain. Remember, this one is the 10mm hex bolt I was talking about. Be very careful. Make sure not to round these off or strip these, or you're in some deep trouble. Make sure it's in there pretty deep. If it's too shallow, you're gonna round it off for sure. I had to hammer it in a little bit. All right, crack them both, I think. Oh, I'm tripping. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let this drain. All right, this is your fill plug. You do need to replace this. This is a crush washer. And you need to replace this drain plug with a copper plug or washer and clean off all this metal and dirt on the drain plug. All right, new copper washer and a new crush washer on the fill. Let's put the drain back on. All right, 29 foot-pounds. Click, good. Let's fill it up. All right, again, we're gonna keep pumping until, yep, that's what we wanna see. All right, that's the flow that we wanna see. Yep, it's good. Pop it out, put the fill back in. All right, 29 foot-pounds. Yep, time to put the skid plate back on. All right, and just like that, in about an hour or so, you just serviced your rear diff, your transfer case, and your front diff all in one. Pretty easy, saves a lot of money, and yeah, everything that I use will be in the description. Thank you guys a lot. Feel free to leave any comments and feedback, that'd be great. And yeah, I will probably wait closer to 60K to do the transmission drain and fill and change the oil. I got 58K on the dash right now, so stay tuned. Everything I use will be down in the description. Thanks.